So let's meet the Addams. Not to be confused with the Addams family, okay, for those of you that remember the Addams family. They have $180,000 of combined annual income, $33,000 in non-retirement assets, $235,000 in primary home equity, and Abigail, who's the oldest of two, and the first heading off to college, she's high achieving, and she has $11,000 in savings, which is wonderful. She's actually saved some money. So let's go through what this family's estimated expected family contribution is, okay? So with the federal methodology, remember that's with the FAFSA, the parents' contribution is a little over $42,000. The student's contribution is $2,200 because at $11,000 in her savings account at 20%, it's $2,200. It goes right to the bottom line. So that family's total estimated EFC is a little over $44,000 a year, okay? And I can assure you that this family would say, you have got to be kidding me, that they really think that I can pay $44,000 a year. So then there's the institutional methodology. That's with the CSS profile. You see it went down slightly as far as the parents' contribution, but the student's contribution went up. What happens with the CSS profile is even if the student has nothing in their name, with the CSS profile EFC, they say the student needs to have a stake in the game, okay? So with the institutional methodology in this family, the total EFC is a little bit more, $46,000. And I will say as a caveat, with the institutional methodology, this is really estimated because every school looks at it differently. But it's better than having no information whatsoever. So let's walk through the numbers. So here we go. So these are 4 schools that I selected here. The first one is SUNY Binghamton, an in-state New York State school. Boston University, which is a private school but uses the CSS profile. Then you've got Marist, which is a private school but only uses the FAFSA. And then University of Maryland, which is an out-of-state state school. Okay, so I used 4 different scenarios to walk through. So you see here, this is their cost of attendance. And many times, when I first start to meet with families and I speak about college search and we go through with the cost of attendance, they say, take BU off the list. Just take it off the list, almost $67,000, not gonna happen. We can't go there. And I said, don't judge a college by its sticker price, and I'm gonna prove that to you, okay? So here I transferred over the EFCs that we calculated before, and you'll see all of them are 44,464 with the exception of BU, because BU is a CSS profile school, right? So that's why the EFCs are slightly different. So then look at the need. Now need is the cost of attendance minus EFC. So obviously for these 2 schools, it's 0 because their EFC is greater than the cost of attendance, right? So no need. But you'll see for BU, and for Marist, there's a little bit of need at Marist and a little bit more need at BU. Now, this is a really critical line here. Percent of need met. So this kind of tells you how generous a school is. And again, we're dealing with averages. Okay, this is averages, but it's information that we have based on history. So you'll see here, typically state schools are not the most generous schools. And so these are the dollars, average dollars of need met. And then this is the unmet need. Okay, so we're going to take this over to the next one. So the next one are grants and scholarships. So federal grants, this family is not going to qualify. They're not a needy family. They're not going to qualify for federal grants or state grants. Okay? This next line is an important one also because this is average institutional merit scholarships for families that don't have financial need, right? So you'll see here, it varies pretty greatly. And Boston, being the most generous out of all of them. Granted, Boston also has the highest cost of attendance as well. And then you've got Marist, which is about half of the amount. Okay, so let's move to the next one. This is loans, and this family is not going to qualify for work-study or really for other types of loans, and I don't go into whether they're going to get a private loan or a plus loan. So I automatically give everybody the $5,500, which is everybody can qualify for that, right? That's the unsubsidized student loan. So let's get to the bottom line. So here I brought the cost of attendance over again, right? Now, these next 2 lines, out-of-pocket cost without self-help. Remember, what is self-help? Loans and work-study, right? So this is out-of-pocket cost without self-help, and then the next line is out-of-pocket cost with self-help. In this instance, it's a $5,500 difference because that's the loan. So let's take a look at the bottom line. So here we go with out-of-pocket cost without self-help. Marist is actually the most expensive school of all four, right? The most expensive because it's really not a generous school. And if, in fact, you met all the averages and got that money, and again, it's based on all different kinds of criteria, BU is the second least expensive school to the New York State School. And when you go down to out-of-pocket cost with self-help, obviously $5,500 difference, again, BU is the second least expensive school. BU is a very generous school, depending on your need, right? Depending on your merit, depending on your academics. But it's really important to remember this. So any questions about this?